Well, hello, my fellow sensitive people. It is I, your favorite Whimsy, and I'm here to give you a reading about the world events. And man, what a crazy world it is. It looks like we are living in the time where we get to watch our beloved White House being demolished. Yes, the White House, as we sit, is being demolished by wrecking balls. They're taking out the East Wing. Now, of course, there have been various different repairs and changes that have happened over the history of the White House. But wow, during a government shutdown, when people are wondering if they can buy bread, is this really the time we need to be building that beautiful ballroom at the expense of tearing down America's most prized national landmark? Well, that appears to be what we're living through. In the other news, it appears that Virginia Giuffre, if that's how you pronounce it, who has passed, her autobiography was published posthumously, and it's a doozy, claiming all kinds of various different people in positions of power did awful, terrible things to her and to other children. And of course, we have to ask ourselves, why are we surprised when aristocrats and people in positions of power have been doing awful, terrible things to other people since, well, humans have been human? But what has changed for all of us is that the truth is now coming out. We all have a cell phone. We can all film. Um, we can all film the horrible, awful things that are going on. The George Floyd murder, which was caught on tape. These are examples of the times we live in, and these are good times to be in, because these are the times not when things are horrible, but that we are forced to face the horrible that has been with us for a very long time. And that is that people in positions of power do awful, terrible things. Now is a great time in history for sanitation, I would say, in the sense that we're now seeing the truth of things. I can't help but wonder how people who voted for Donald Trump feel about the recent changes that are taking place with the White House East Wing. And do you feel that it's symbolic of everything that's happening in the United States right now, that we have taken a wrecking ball to our White House, our beloved White House, our Constitution, and everything else? Let's go ahead and do the impasse prayer and let's see what's going on. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. All right. So the first thing is, as you know, I don't think this Prince Andrew expose is going away. In fact, I think it's necessary for the healing of the world. We could see the collapse of the monarchies. We need to see the ugly, awful. No more icons, right? No more idols. No more believing in actors, right? They're just actors. They're just actors playing a part, right? They're just actors. They're not really the characters they play. So no more crushes on actors, right? No more believing that politicians can save us. No more believing that just because you're a prince, you're a nice person, right? All right, I just want to look at what's going to happen to Prince Andrew first. If you haven't had a chance yet to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Prince Andrew is facing a new beginning, and that new beginning means that he is going. Look, what you have with Andrew is you have a crippled person. That's how you have to view Andrew. Excuse me. You have to view him as crippled. The Windsor boys never grew up. They don't know how to put toothpaste on their toothbrush. They don't know how to put trash in a trash bin, right? They don't know how to function. If you've learned anything about royals, it's that these are people who are emotionally stunted. They're children. They're children. And so they're attracted to other children because they're children. So you have somebody like Andrew who has 47 teddy bears, and every teddy bear has to be perfect. And you have someone like Prince Charles who doesn't know how to prepare his toothbrush. And so it is a feeling that these are people that they never grew up. They just never grew up. We have this new beginning is happening here for the royal family and for Andrew, with a 4 of wands in the base of the matter and a 10 of swords. The people closest to him will turn on him. His bodyguards are now starting to talk, the security teams, the people who compromise their ethics and values in order to protect this creep. And so, from his perspective, he feels betrayed. He's also been betrayed by other members of the royal family that want him out. His problem is basically that of an addiction, and he is seen as an addict. So Prince Andrew is an addict. It's not just that he was having fun because he's a horrible, awful person. He is a horrible, awful person having fun, but his problems go much deeper than that. This is somebody who is suffering from an addiction just as serious as somebody who has a heroin addiction or any other kind of addiction. Same with Donald Trump. He has addictive personality. It runs in his family, whether it's an addiction to sex or an addiction to Adderall, cocaine. There's been rumors about cocaine. But the bottom line is that when you go into this energy of Virginia Giuffre, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her name, Virginia Giuffre. You go into this energy, she is surrounded by people that are using her just like they would use a bottle of opium. And then when the bottle is empty, when they can get no more from the victim, they will simply toss the empty vial aside and go and find somebody else. Because this is saying from the immediate that basically what it's saying is that Prince Andrew cannot stop himself, that he has truly become an addict. And you go into the history of this family and you're seeing addiction. And you're seeing all kinds of addiction. You're seeing alcoholism in the family and other types of addiction. But you have the power over the addict, the crossing. So some people taking charge or people taking control of him because right now he can't control himself. And what is above him? Exile. It's interesting. The Five of Pentacles is a card that denotes exile, being kicked out, being tossed aside. You're no longer wanted here, right? It's the person who is locked out of the church. This guy is a pariah. Andrew is a pariah. His health is an issue. You know, he was raised to be an invalid. That's one way that you could look at the royal family, that they are raised to be invalids. They cannot care for themselves. And delusions, they're delusional. They think that they're entitled to these things. But in this case, we're looking at an actual addict whose health is being impacted to the point, and then you have the emperor, which is the law, the authority is over him. That's like the king. The king is exiling this guy. Five of Pentacles, he's definitely getting kicked out of the palace. This guy cannot stay. Five of Pentacles is an exile card. The fact that the emperor, the king is right over him, he's going to be, this latest expose by Virginia Giuffre is just the latest. This is the kind of the last straw. Guilfoy, is that what they also say? Guilfoy, Virginia Guilfoy. I guess it depends on if it's the French or the English pronunciation, right? We'll say Guilfoy. Virginia Guilfoy, we'll say. So now it's a time of attempting, there's this power struggle, but boy, he lost his home for sure, because he has the tower in the seventh, he's already lost it, the tower. He's already been forced out. His health is compromised, I would say. Definitely his mental health. He has addiction, and he's definitely being kicked out on his own. I don't know if there's any way he can come back from this. I don't know if Andrew and the royal family can come back from this. This is a pretty horrible scandal. Where he's at right now, he's facing the courts. So now he has to relinquish things. It's very embarrassing, but I'm seeing him having to relinquish and hand things back. Things, he has to hand back his cross, all the things. I feel that he will have to hand them back in. His opposition has thrown him to the dogs. He's been hung up. The courts are right over him too, with the Queen of Swords. This is just, the Queen of Truth is right over Andrew. The hope and fear in the casket, the final outcome for him, he is fighting himself against the world. Seven of Wands is a desire to defend yourself against multiple attacks, packing up and moving. They feel that they're going to have to do a lot to clean up the reputation of this man and all of the crap that's come out about the royals. In the end, I see him moving. He'll probably move to his little chateau in Switzerland or wherever, and I see him having to get a job. His final outcome is the Page of Pentacles, and this guy's an addict. I'm telling you, this guy presents as an addict who's gotten kicked out by his family. He's out on the streets, tough love. The emperor is right over him. He's trying to get his power back. 10 of Wands, he's packing up. He's moving a heavy load. They're trying to get past this. Page of Pentacles, this guy's going to try and get a job somewhere, But he should be viewed objectively as an addict. He's a sex addict. That's the bottom line. And he shared that with Epstein, right? So he and Epstein both were sex addicts. They had to have it 3 times a day. And so he had a camaraderie. Like, this guy gets me. Yeah, if you can, why not? That's the joke, right? And remember, if you're an addict, people are just vials of opium. You just drink it and throw it in the trash and then find another vial. Suck people dry. It's the hunger that can never be satiated, right? Let's go ahead and look at Donald Trump in the White House. As many of you know, he has demolished a major part of the White House. And a lot of people feel that he has taken a wrecking ball to everything that is America. And Maybe we do need to smash the White House to the ground. Why not? Why not make it obvious? Because this guy is, how bad does it have to be before people wake up and realize what the situation we find ourselves in? Americans chose to reelect him. Would they elect him a third term if they could? Maybe. Let's take a look. Future of Donald Trump. What is going on with Donald Trump right now? Spirit, tell us what is happening with Donald Trump. And now they're saying that they will release the Epstein files. How many people are involved? How many people are involved? What do we got ourselves into? Now, we know that Saudi Arabia is coming to the White House sometime around November 18th and 19th. Is that correct? I'll be traveling. That's a very good sign. It means that they're going to be discussing the Abraham Accords and Saudi Arabia being part of the rebuild of Gaza. That's all good news, right? I see him traveling, but again, we have a case here of exile. He is moving into the karma card of the Five of Pentacles, and that means that Donald Trump is person non gratis in the White House. He has lost his mojo. He has lost his mojo with that Five of Pentacles, all that racket smashing and everything in the house. Well, he can't stay there. He's got to go stay in Mar-a-Lago, right? He's got to go to Mar-a-Lago. He's got to go to Westminster. He's got to go somewhere else, but he doesn't need to be there. And so we have this Chariot card. He's going to be leaving. I assume he's going to be staying outside the White House, possibly because of all the demolishing that's going on. He's very happy with his wins. He's having conflict with a man of war at this time. I think that's Zelensky. Remember, he canceled the trip that was supposed to be with Putin. He said it didn't feel right. I think it's Orban was supporting Putin. Maybe that was why he didn't feel right. I think it was supposed to take place in Hungary. Is that correct? Trump's going to have to cut the cord with Putin if he wants the Abraham Accords to succeed, because Putin can't be a part of it. That's what the data shows. And that is a big deal. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars if they can get to peace in the Middle East. Might not be what we liberals want to hear, because we just want people to stop killing for the benefit of not killing. But that's not the real world. And we're starting to see that. If I can't make my money being selling bombs, I got to come up with another way to make money. Bombs and drugs, right? Drugs and everything else, right? Oil, drugs, and bombs. Are those the biggest income makers? The ability to sell arms, the ability to sell drugs. So if you put yourself in Trump's shoes, he is expected to pull off this major Middle Eastern trade deal. And the Middle Eastern trade deal requires them to get rid of Putin and to get rid of Iran. They have to get rid of Iranian leadership, and they have to get rid of Putin. They've already gotten rid of Syria. Syria's fallen, because they can't have anybody in the Middle East that's obstructing this trade route. So that is how you need to look at it. And Zelensky knows that. You want to be part of the rebuild of the Ukraine. You want to be part of Ukraine. You want to be part of the rebuild of Gaza. You're going to have to join with Zelensky, right? And you're going to have to cut the cord with Putin. We have him letting things go over the issue of whether or not, oh, look at that. He's feeling fenced in and trapped. He's got new commitments coming in. Look at that. He's trying to get these peace deals in order to improve his reputation. He's trying to get all these peace deals and trade deals. And that's noble. That's good. He should be doing that. But yeah, we have this contract. I think he's going to be able to get the Abraham Accords, which is a positive, but he's going to have to he's going to have to cut Putin, he knows he has to cut the cord with Putin. If I know it, he knows it, right? If you know it, he knows it. Victory over the next 6 months for Trump, but the Queen of Swords is coming in as his obstacle, his hope and fear that he leaves everything behind, and the final outcome for Trump is traveling, leaving. I see him traveling, and I see him possibly headed back to the Middle East, because the Knight of Wands is headed to a southwesterly direction. The Middle East, called east of Europe, but the southwest of Asia, depending on who you ask. And this is the southwest. Yeah, so the Middle East is referred to as the Middle East of Europe, which is considered Eurocentric, but other people say it's part of the Asian continent, so we should call it simply what it is, which is Southwest Asia, which is interesting that when I get cards for the Middle East, I'll often get the Knight of Wands, which is also the Southwest. The horse is often moving in a southwesterly direction. Yeah, so basically I see him headed back to the Middle East. I don't know about his health. It's been touch and go, to be honest with you. I keep getting that he could be out because of health issues. However, I do think that it's going to be good news, his future with Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia entering the peace accords. I think that's huge. I think that this is very auspicious for his trip to the Middle East. And I think that it's the peace that he wants. However, as I said, he's going to have to let Putin go, because the future is the Abraham Accords, and Putin cannot be a part of that. All right, the last thing I want to take a look at has to do with the government shutdown. What will be with the government shutdown? Hopefully it will end soon. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's do 4 cards. The government shutdown. And it is. Everybody is defending themselves. Everyone is, I'm the right, you're wrong. 7 of Wands is to stand on the high. You're standing on the high road, right? Or what is it? The soapbox? And your opposition is trying to get to peace. 2 of Cups is reaching across the aisle and a healing. Knight of Swords is anger and war, and the final outcome is this situation will be transformed. They're going to go to, it's going to probably be resolved, and I would think in the next few days, because death is right over the situation. This is a very vulnerable time in American history. I also wanted to say that as well, because we've got a lunatic destroying, smashing the White House to shreds, screaming about some ballroom. Meanwhile, the government has been shut down. A lot of things have not been approved. If we were going to be attacked by a foreign enemy, now would be the perfect time. And so for that, and you have this Knight of Swords there in the 9th house. This is a blitz. So the 3rd card is the same as the 9th. The point is this, it's the hope and the fear. This is a time when we are vulnerable, and also that 7 of Wands, defending ourselves from other persons, or defending ourselves against the world. I like that 2 of Cups moving into 8th position. It's a desire to get back to work. I think that the government shutdown is probably going to end, and people will be back next week, just because death is there, and it's like the situation will change. The clarification is there's the jobs report. The bill will be passed. The truth will come out, and there will be a judgment coming, and the courts will get involved. The courts are going to get involved for some reason regarding the Epstein files. I predict the courts will become involved with the Epstein files, whether or not immunity was even with the FBI may not have been within its rights to grant immunity the way it did, to be honest with you. This feels to me like the courts are coming in, and that as a result of these exposés that are coming out about Epstein, the truth will come out, and it will possibly, there will be demands for prosecution, because in many states there's no statute of limitation. There certainly shouldn't be, not for murder or child rape. There should be no statute, in my opinion, and the majority of Americans feel that way when they've been polled on that issue. But let's find out if Trump's going to be exposed in the Epstein files and what the consequences will be. And I think that'll be my last throw. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Much appreciated. Trump will be betrayed. Trump will be betrayed and he will be called out. The courts are going to scramble and say, well, wait a minute. That doesn't look like that was a legal deal. I'm telling you, everything is coming out. And the questionable deals that the FBI made with this guy, possibly because what? Because he was an FBI informant, so you decided to let a bunch of people rape kids? This is a dirty deal, and people are going to start talking, and Trump is about to be betrayed. Somebody really is at war with him. The Queen of Wands, the Mars, his opposition. I'm telling you, it's not just Zelensky either. There's going to be something happening. It's happening very quickly. It's an issue of strife. Trump is going to feel like he's been betrayed, and it's going to happen very quickly. That's what I can tell you. It's going to happen very quickly. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to blow up about Epstein, about the people involved. The courts are going to get back involved. And I think that this is a great opportunity when the truth comes out for us to push to have President Trump removed, either through impeachment or through Article 25, because he is about to be taken out by people close to him. He has made too many enemies, 10 of Swords in the 7th house, and he's got the War King as his enemy. The Mars King is his enemy. It's in his house of opposition. Things change very quickly. Be patient, grasshopper, with the temperance. Let me do a clarification here. It looks very bad for Trump. He will try and smooth it out. It's like putting perfume on poop. If the house smells like poop because the dog had an accident, you try to put perfume. No, you're going to have to sanitize that puppy. So the 6 of Cups is like that. It's let me make it better. Come back to me, my love, trying to woo old constituents. It's the king has lost his mojo, a new beginning. There's new leadership coming. Whether they will hang him up, yeah, I think that it's not just Andrew and Fergie that are leaving in shame. I feel this guy will leave in shame. I feel just as Andrew is being forced to leave Buckingham Palace in shame, this guy who just demolished part of the White House, hang up and go. Be patient, grasshopper. This is coming out. And he will try and cover it up, and he will try and clean it up. But to be honest with you, with these cards, I think it's going to be nearly impossible for Trump to be able to talk himself out of it. Expect people to return back to the House and for them to vote to reopen and to approve the they're going to approve the budget next week. It looks like there'll be movement. All right. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with me. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can book me through Booksy. All that information is below. Thank you all for being here. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.